What's going on, everybody? Gonna hop on here and do a short video for everybody. This comes from my aunt by way of marriage. She's not blood kin, but she's still what I would call kin. I'd go over to her house, she'd tell me some stories, and I want to try to think that she told me that she was from Ray County. It's been a long time ago, but she told me a story one time I was young. Of course, now she swore up and down that her stories was true, and she was a pretty God-fearing woman. I wouldn't think she'd lie to me. She seemed like she was scared. She'd get scared when she'd start talking, telling me some stories. But one of her stories was I guess you'd call it, I don't know, you've heard of what they call the spook lights and stuff like that. Well, she said where she come from, there was this holler, and I don't know the name of it, but she said periodically there would be this blue light up here back in this holler, and you could see it. It would light up the bottom of the tree canopies, and it was kind of had a blue hue to it, and it would just appear when it wanted to, you know, no certain time or day or weather, or I mean not daytime, but no certain day of the month or night of the month, so to speak, but just whenever this thing wanted to. And people would walk out in the holler and try to find this thing, but they never could find it, or it seemed to move away from them. Now, she said that there was this man who lived in the community, and he was what you might call the town drunk, I guess. And he swore the next time this light showed up, he would go till he found the light. He wouldn't stop till he found it. If everybody would chip in a little money, or he could buy himself some alcohol. Evidently he didn't work or didn't work much, kind of like people today, I guess. But so a lot of people agreed, you know, yeah, we'll do it. We'll set up on the hill next time this thing shows up, and you head out through the woods and we'll see what happens. So it just wasn't a few days later till here that light was lighting up that holler. So somebody went and got him, and off he went, you know, to kind of see what it was. I can only imagine that blue light. I don't know if you can see that blue light way off in the distance there. Probably looks something like that, except a whole lot brighter. But so he sets off through the woods to go see what this thing is. I'm going to have to turn my camera. I don't want to film those people up here walking, and I sure don't want them to see me filming. So he heads out through the woods walking, kind of going to get a look and see what it is. So these people are sitting up on the hill where they can see this light, see if it moves away, blinks out or whatever. Well, the light doesn't seem to move. He's gone pretty good while, couple hours. So they figure he's had to be there by now. He's found it. Well, here he comes out of the woods. Everybody rushes down there. I won't know. Did you find it? Did you find the light? Yeah. He says, I found it. Well, what, tell us, what is it? Well, you're gonna have to give me my drinking money first, we agreed on. So everybody done as I promised. They gave him his money. So he told him he's too winded and out of breath. He'd tell everybody what it was later. Well, people had to settle for that because it's late at this time too. Like I said, a lot of people had work, had farms to tend to. So the next day they caught him in the local barber shop or coffee shop. Well, he was a pretty smart guy. He allowed that he wouldn't tell nobody what it was unless they was going to pay him some more drinking money. So, and he'd tell everybody at the next Saturday get together. I guess they used to get together at the courthouse and trade knives and stuff on Saturday evenings. Kind of that was the thing. So if you wanted to hear what this thing was, he was going to explain it come that next Saturday. And you paid, I don't know what he charged everybody, whatever it took to buy. I'm sure he'd be out of drinking money by then. So I'm sure this made some people mad, she said. But what could they do? So as the days went on, getting towards Saturday, his behavior grew stranger and stranger and stranger. And it got to the point to where he quit eating, and after a few days he had quit drinking. And then he had quit talking, and he told his mom that he was having nightmares, terrible nightmares. And in these nightmares he was dying in his nightmares, and he was seeing how he was dying, and he thought this light, this thing, was causing it. And so she wanted to know what it was. Just, you know, go ahead and tell me what was this thing that you saw. And he said, Mama, if I told you what this thing was, then you would die too. He said, I realize now from these dreams I've had, I can't tell nobody what I've seen. He said, I can't talk about this. And this man even quit drinking. But he said in his dreams, he dreamed that he was going to drown. So lo and behold, she told him, she said, well, just, you know, don't go around no water. If that's what you're afraid of, I mean, that's an easy fix. Don't go around no water. So he's with his buddy one day, and they just went to the feed store. They're coming back that evening, and his buddy loses control of his truck, runs off the road into the pond, and the old boy drowns on Friday evening before he could get back and tell people what he saw. Of course, at this point, he wasn't going to tell anybody anyway what he saw. He'd made his mind up. So his cousin got word of what happened, of what he'd done. See if those people's going yet. So his cousin decided that the next time this light shows up, he's going to go out there and he's going to find out what it is. Now that somebody can literally say they've seen it, he's going to go. And he's angry because this has killed his first cousin. They was close. So it's just not a few nights later, here it is again. So this time this man sets off. You know, there's no crowd waiting on him or anything, but he sets off. And he gets back home. And he tells his family that this light's coming out of a cave. Out of a dark cave way back against the mountain. He said, you can't see what's causing the light. He said, but it's coming out of this cave. And he said, and it's giving off a spooky, evil vibe. He said, I don't know what's causing it, but it's lighting up the whole tree canopy. He said, I don't know what it is. Well, it wasn't just nights later. This guy here, he actually quit talking. He quit eating. And he started having terrible dreams. He started having awful dreams. He dreamed that he burned alive. Well, I don't have to tell you that it wasn't 2 weeks later that his house caught on fire. And yes, he burned alive. This man did. So the story goes that the light would go out after it had took 3 people's life. Now I don't know which one of them had told her that, and I don't know how the community came about the 3 story, But she said the last time she visited there, of course now, this was in the early 80s, I was told this story, that light was still showing up in the community. And when that light would show up, people would stay as far away from that light as they could. Nobody wanted to be the third person. And I asked her, I said, do you believe that this story is true? I mean, do you believe what these people's told you? And she said, well, I know two things to be a fact for sure. She said, number one, she said, I've seen the light myself. She said, I've stood on the hill, stood on that bank and looked out in that holler and seen those trees light up just as dark blue as you can imagine. And she said, number two, she said, that was my brother, the first man that died. And the second man that died was my first cousin. She said, so yeah, she said, I believe it to be true. She said, I pretty well know it's true. And she told me that, I mean, the hair stood up on the back of my neck. I was just young, I didn't have much hair on the back of my neck at the time, but I remember it spooked me. And I thought, well, there's no way I would go out in those woods, whether I see the light or not, I'd stay out of that place. But I think that comes from Ray County, Tennessee, and it was some spook light that, and it may not be Ray County, it just may be near Ray County. But that was some sort of spook light that used to shine out there, and I reckon it scared the people to death. And she was young when this happened, so I'm not sure what year this took place, but kind of spooky when you think about it. I just wonder if that still shines today. You know, did it go away, or is it still going on to this day? Sure does make you wonder. It's kind of weird looking at that blue light off in the distance right there, seeing that. Well, it's even weirder seeing, I don't know, people or something still moving around way up there. I don't guess you all can see them. I see them or see something up there. I don't see no cars. I don't know what they're doing over here. But anyhow, guys, I'm gonna jump off from here. Next time I get on here, we'll talk a little more. I've got some more questions about different things that people wants to talk to me about, and see if I can't answer them. There's the big Ferris wheel. I don't know if y'all can see it or see the top of it or not. And look at that moon up there. When I was young coming up here and I was a kid, there wasn't none of these motels you see was up here at all. Nothing. This was, when it got dark up here, you couldn't see your hand in front of your face when I was growing up. This was a lot scarier place. And we're right here in this wide spot where you got the graveyard's divided between a family over there, back in a holler, different set of families. Then you got this big wide open space right here. Kind of runs back that way right there. And then you got everybody else. You can tell that side over there, that's all old graves and stuff. And I think I've told y'all the story before that supposedly the witch and her family that practiced witchcraft was buried over there on that side. Back in the day, they couldn't sell no plots over here, nowhere's near. Nobody wanted to lay their head nowhere's near that family. Now, I don't know how much truth there is to that, but here's the wide spot to prove it. How spooky. Anyways, guys, I'm gonna get off from here. I'll jump back on here in another day or two, man. Y'all, oh, by the way, before I go, thanks for your condolences. And I feel a whole lot better than I did last time I talked to y'all. And I think a lot of you guys, I really do. A lot of good people out there. Everybody been real good to me and had a lot of good stuff to say, man. I appreciate it, and I sure do think a lot of you all. You all sure have a lot of kind words to say to me, and I thank you for it. It helps out. God bless y'all, and we'll talk to you soon.